Well, it's about 4:30 in the morning, and it's been pretty wet and pretty windy. Well, it's about 4:30 in the morning, and it's been pretty wet and pretty windy, very blustery, pouring down, so it's a heck of a good test for the tent. Now, I had every faith that it would withstand the bad weather, but I did get up to have a little look around the tent, both inner and in the living space, the outer area. Yeah, it's been quite windy and very, very wet. So couldn't have asked for better, really, to test it on its second night. Anyhow, I'm going back to sleep, if I can. I'll see you in the morning. Well, it is morning, isn't it, really? But I'll see you when I wake up. Good morning, guys. It was a very, very windy and wet night. It was torrential rain at parts, the bits I was awake anyway. And it was high winds. So, how did the tent perform in the rain? I think that's the big question. I thought it would be good in the rain and the high winds because I've already got the Naturehike Cloud Up 2, which has been tested to extremes, and this didn't disappoint. It's really, really useful that I had a very stormy night with high winds and heavy rain on my first use of the tent, because it gets that out of the way now. I was confident that it would be okay. You never do know though with these things, but with all that rain there was no ingress into the tent at all. There was no ingress into the actual living space, despite the fact it hasn't got ground sheet. I've just put an old tarp down. Despite the fact it hasn't got a ground sheet, again, no ingress of water into there. It's not raining now, but it is still windy, and the sun's starting to come out. I say that and I can feel a few spots of rain. So I'm going to have to crack on and get this tent down because it's mostly dry. One thing I'd heard about these tents was that I believe some people had managed to have rain come in through the open vents. Now, I deliberately left them open last night and there was nothing at all came through. Now, I suppose it might just depend on location and wind direction, but you can batten them down. There's a bit of Velcro, you just push it down and it's done. I honestly can't really see, unless there was really driving rain, how that's going to get in there. So that worked a treat. I had a good night's sleep apart from the getting up to the loo thing. And the tent, the other thing which is quite good with the tent, and it's the same with the Cloud Up 2, is that I haven't had to retension these guy lines. So despite the wind, those guy lines have held up without having to be retensioned. So the tent's there, it's sort of nearly ready to pack away, although it's starting to rain again now. But there's nothing in here, it's really held up well. So just really closing on this first impressions review. It's met everything I expected of it. The actual living area I have used this morning to have a burner on to make my drink, because it was raining when I first got up, as it is now. So I've been able to cook inside the living space. That bay window at the back, I've shown you that. I've not used it again because the weather's not been right, but that is a big thing with this tent that I think is a great feature. And when you consider the size of this tent as opposed to the pack size, and I'll get that pack size down because I'll use a compression sack. In fact, I'm going to put it away in a compression sack. This is a brilliant tent. The amount of space in here for small pack size is superb. Anyhow, just a first impressions video. We'll see how it gets on, particularly over winter, because I'll be doing winter camping, and I'll report back when it gets a real battering as we get into wintering. I've got to go and have a drink. Thanks a lot, guys.